welcome to the General Hospital recap for December 7th. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps, and also be a beauty and hit that bell down below so you get notified every time we upload a new recap real fast. If you haven't already, please contact the FCC. I have all the links down in the description. You can call or use the direct link to email them right through the FCC website. Also, if you haven't already, call your representative and senators. I have the link down below to find your representative if you haven't already, and tell them that you support net neutrality. And if you have called, it never hurts to call again. The vote for net neutrality is on December 14th. It is fast approaching, and we need to keep the pressure on. It is working. They are hearing us. We just need to let them know that we do not support the repeal of net neutrality. Net neutrality is super important, and if you're not sure what net neutrality is, I have linked videos down below. I highly recommend the Vlogbrothers video. It's nice and short and concise, but gives you a lot of information and keeps it very interesting. Let's do this. Team Internet. Let's save the internet again. And like literally, it's saving the internet. Like, oh my goodness. But let's get right to it. In the park, Nelle and Michael are cleaning up after the Santa event. Michael's talking about when he had custody over Avery, and even though it was a dark time in his life, Avery was such a light, and she's reminded of how much she likes to be around kids, and they're like kind of bonding a little bit. Then Michael notices there's a strange smell, and Maxie and Lulu come over because it's still from the, oh my goodness, it still smell like rotten eggs. Poor ladies. They're not smelling great, and Maxie says, well, Nelle, the smell of treachery never fades. Okay, since when did Maxie turn into Spinelli? Because I absolutely love it. Lulu says that they were undercover, they used stink bombs to clear the invader's office, they snooped freely around, and they found out Nelle sold the story to the invader, and Nelle's like, what? No, I didn't. Nope, nope, nope. And they're like, yeah, actually, we have proof. The check stub with her name on it for 10 grand, and Michael is just like, again? So Michael is like, his mind is reeling because the invader writes disgusting lies about his family, and Nelle says that she was just righting a wrong here. They were the ones lying. And Maxie's like, my husband could have been arrested though, and the money was going to Amy's brother, who's a wounded vet. And Nelle says, look, it all worked out. I actually did you a favor. You should thank me because now it's selling better than ever. And Nelle says that she made an honest deal. And Maxie's like, really? Selling someone else's secret? That's honest? And Lulu asks Michael if that sounds honest to him. Maxie says that she and Nathan were talking about Ask Man Landers the same day Nelle was being sneaky around the office, and she must have come back, and this is never brought up, but Michael knows for a fact she came back because he's the one who told her to go back. She must have heard them talking and ran to the invader. Nelle doesn't understand why she's the bad guy here. She just told the truth. Maxie tries to defend everything, but then she's starting to get nauseous, so she tags Lulu in, and Lulu, oh my goodness, I love when the two of them are on, they are on. So Lulu picks up the torch and says, you did this for revenge against Nina, against the magazine, and Nelle's like, actually, I did it for the money. Okay. She pulls Michael aside and says, oh, you know, I was behind on my bills. I needed the money. Yes, I unmasked Ask Man Landers, but the public had the right to know they were being lied to, and he just has to understand her, right? And he goes, no. No, 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 no. Maxie and Lulu are gonna leave, but they actually just go to the side and sit on a bench. And Lulu's like, Michael, feel free to call me if you need to talk. Nelle says that she told the truth. She didn't know about Amy's brother when she talked to the invader. And Michael says, oh, you're always the victim. And to counter that, Nelle says that she wouldn't have to do it if Maxie hadn't turned Nina against her, because Maxie just couldn't stand that she was working there and she made Nina hate her. And Maxie gets up and goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't do anything to do with her getting fired. Nelle tried to do something with Valentine, and that's why Nina fired her. And Nelle's like, she's lying, I didn't do anything, she's lying. Michael is like, you take advantage of people. It's the same story, different people. And Michael's like, look, I don't think you're malicious, which is like the nicest thing. He has the nicest outlook on this girl, like seriously. But I think you're broken. I can't be around you. Oh, this is so good. It's like everything I've ever wanted in life. Maxie and Lulu confer. They're going to take lots of showers and baths, and then they're going to refocus on her article. Nelle uses the "you don't know what it's like to be broke" card on Michael. Girl, please. Michael says no. He's listening to his inner voice on this one that he's kept pushing to the side. He's cutting all ties. She is on her own. Oh my goodness, my heart. My cold, icy heart. In the art room, Franco is putting out a bunch of candles and paintings, lighting the candles, all romantic. Liz comes in and he has a ring. He proposes. I mean, they've already agreed to get married, but like he wanted to do like this nice big kind of proposal. It's actually really sweet. He acknowledges that she did ask him first, and he asks what her middle name is because he wants to like propose, and it's Imogen, and I didn't know that. She accepts his proposal after he's like, Imogen. So now they've proposed to each other and are in total agreement, are definitely getting married. Elizabeth loves the ring and she's so excited to tell the boys, and he's like, actually they're all in on it. They all love the idea, like they're all 100%. And then Franco says he has to tell her something about Jason and Andrew, but Kim is outside the door and is kind of hearing this, and like then he notices her and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, I was looking for the lounge, I get all turned around here. Elizabeth is like, oh, you're fine, and introduces Kim Nero to Franco, and Kim is so embarrassed for interrupting, and they're like, look, it's no problem at all. Elizabeth is going to walk Kim to the lounge since her break is over anyway, and then they'll continue their conversation later. In the main halls of General Hospital, Kim is finding General Hospital to be really welcoming, and then Kim brings up the Jasons and says she knew Drew Kane a long time ago. They were in San Diego. He left an impression on her, and Elizabeth says that she's not the only one. Elizabeth almost married him. Elizabeth tells Kim about the hit and run and the memory loss, and that he was a good man. Then he was told he was Jason Morgan and went to that life, and Kim asks how she feels now that he's not Jason Morgan. Franco's around the corner and is hearing this conversation and is very interested in that last answer. At the PCPD, Alexis got Commander Fuller not to take Drew, but the judge can and probably will vacate that. Alexis advises Sam to get a lawyer that knows more about military law, and Sam knows someone who can help. At Sonny's, Sonny asks Jason if Spinelli has anything. He's tracing the burner phone that Obrecht bought and made a call from. Then Jason gets a call from Sam. She needs his help. She's at the PCPD. He has to come, and he's like, I'm on my way. He doesn't even ask any questions. Well, he asks if she needs Diane. Okay, so I guess that's a question. He has no details, but he's going to go to her. Sonny will let Jason know if Spinelli calls about Faison. Then we cut to Sonny on the phone with who I can only imagine is Spinelli, because he cannot get a word in. And he's like, okay, bye. Joss comes home. She tells Sonny all about school. And by the way, Oscar's coming over. And she mentions Catcher in the Rye and the ducks in Central Park while like she's trying to bury the Oscar thing. And believe it or not, I actually have a story about that subject. One of the girls I watch, she told me that I have a story for everything, and I'm like, I don't have a story for everything. And then it's like the ducks in Central Park, Catcher in the Rye, and I'm like, oh, I got a story for that, and I can only think about her, and I'm like, oh, I really do have a story for everything. Sonny asks if Carly knows that Oscar's coming over, and Jocelyn's like, I texted her, so it should all be fine. Oscar comes over. He's kind of tense, and he asks Jocelyn about the paternity test. She tries to keep it light and says the test results aren't in yet. Sonny comes downstairs. Oscar apologizes that they had to leave on Thanksgiving, and Jocelyn says that they're gonna go start homework, and Sonny kind of sends Jocelyn upstairs with Avery for a few minutes. Sonny knows Oscar is wondering about Drew Kane and wants to know what his interest is. Oscar says that, oh, me and Jocelyn, we were just discussing ideas. You know how we are. We're kids. We discuss things. Then Oscar asks Sonny if Drew is a good guy, and Sonny's like, yeah, he saved my life multiple times when I was shot multiple times. Sonny asks why he and Jocelyn snuck out on Thanksgiving night to visit Drew. Jocelyn comes back downstairs. Sonny says, oh yeah, we were just talking about Drew Kane, and Sonny gets a text and has to go. Oscar asks Jocelyn how Drew was involved in Sonny almost dying multiple times, and Jocelyn's like, oh, well, he really, like, wasn't involved. He just, like, came in at the last second and saved him. And then Jocelyn gets an email. The results are in. Back at the PCPD, Sam called Jason for help. Alexis asks if she thinks Jason's gonna help Drew and explain the situation, and Alexis thinks that Jason will see this as a way to get Drew out of the way and not help. I'm sorry. Really, Alexis? Like, first of all, look, I know Alexis isn't a fan of Sam and Jason together because of the danger it puts Sam and the family in, or at least the danger that Alexis perceives that it puts Sam and the family in. She knew Jason for a long time. Is Jason the kind of person who would let a man who was abducted partially because of Jason go to jail and be taken away from everyone he knows just so Jason could swoop in and take his old life back? And two, If Jason just sat back and let Drew get taken away, would Sam ever forgive him? No. I feel like Alexis just reaches sometimes. And Alexis go look for another attorney. Jason's there. Sam thanks him for coming. She says, look, I'm not the one in trouble. She needs him to help Drew. And he asks, what do you want me to do? Now they're in the interrogation room and Sam is telling him the situation. The Navy and NSA may think that Drew's a traitor and are arresting him for desertion. Alexis comes in with Commander Fuller, and Commander Fuller is like, wow, Chief Kane really does have a twin. Commander Fuller will listen to what Jason has to say. So Jason says a few weeks ago he found out he had an identical twin. They were separated at birth. They didn't know anything about each other. In 2012, Jason disappeared, and 6 months ago he woke up in a clinic in Russia. He can't account for 4.5 years of his life. The commander asks if he thinks that's connected to Drew's disappearance, and Jason says yes. There's this man, Andre Maddox. He did memory mapping. Jason says he didn't consent to this memory mapping, and he can be sure that Drew didn't consent either. Jason asks if Drew's record shows any sign that he would desert. The file shows he was highly decorated and devoted to the SEALs, joining right after high school. Is he the kind of person that would desert? The commander says there was no proof the disappearance was involuntary, and Jason brings up Faison, former head of the DVX. Drew Kane doesn't remember his past, he remembers Jason's, which is why when he came to after all of this, he didn't go back to the SEALs. He had no idea who he was. Commander Fuller says this is a unique situation. His record should work in his favor as well as all these statements. Alexis walks him out. Sam thanks Jason and he says he'll always help her how he can. He gets a text he has to go meet Sonny and he just right out of there. In jail, Drew is being held in the jail and Andre is brought in and put in the cell across from Drew, so this should be fun. He tells Andre he's being charged with desertion. Andre already knows that, and Drew says if the bars weren't there, he'd probably kill him. Andre tries to defend his work, and Drew is like, no, you weaponized it. You didn't try to use it for good. And Drew lived someone else's life. What's he supposed to do now? Andre says that he understands his pain, and Drew is like, really? Really? And Andre's like, well, for the past 5 years, the secrets and the lies. And Drew is like, no. You did something wrong. You stole my life. You had this fake death certificate trying to cover it up. Andre says he wasn't trying to ruin his life. He was trying to avoid upheaval. That's so nice. Andre made a statement to the Navy that Andrew's desertion was out of his control. And Andre says there's so much more to this than your current situation. Do you want to know who you were? Andre says it's possible to remember stuff, and Drew asks what if Andrew Kane was a willing deserter, and Andre says that's ridiculous. Drew asks why he got Jason's memories and why not the other way around. Andre doesn't know, he just did what he was told. But Andre says there are people out there who care about what happened to Drew Kane and love him. Andre says, look, Sam's life has totally tilted and he wishes he could guarantee nothing is going to change. But he has to keep in mind that Andrew Kane has a past too and something might change. Drew asks if his memories are ever going to come back. And now end scene. Nelle rushes over to Michael and Michael texts his broker. He's selling the apartment. And she says, well, what about my rent? And he says, well, you could discuss that with your new landlord. And she asks if he cares what happens to her. And he says, look, you were talking about leaving Port Charles, so maybe you should. Start fresh somewhere else. And Nelle says, how can she start fresh when she's pregnant with his child? No, we were so close. Oh. But secretly, oh my goodness, I absolutely love this. I asked for Lisa Niles 2.0, and not only was I given Lisa Niles 2.0, but I was given this beautiful little cherry on top. I am loving this storyline. I am loving this drama right now. It just feels really fresh. And I know there are elements to it that aren't fresh, because I feel like for the past 5 years, General Hospital has been very baby drama centric, but for some reason to me, this just feels like so fresh. I think it's because of who the character is. Jocelyn has the paternity test results, but does Oscar want to know? Liz says Drew is married and she's engaged, and Kim is like, well, that doesn't really answer the question. But then Franco turns the corner. He wants to talk with her. He wants to get married before Christmas. Oh, I wonder why. Did this work out for Morgan? No. No. It doesn't work out when you try to rush a wedding because you don't want someone to find out something. A piece of paper will not stop someone from leaving you if they really want to leave. Drew wants to know if he'll always be stuck with Jason's memories. Andre is being taken out to talk to his lawyer. Drew wants answers now, and Andre's like, later. Really, Andre? Really? Alexis tells Sam Commander Fuller is on a conference call. Sam knew Jason would come through, but what comes next? Jason and Sunny bust in somewhere, guns blazing. Whew. Alright, so that is it for the 7th General Hospital recap. I'm gonna be with you in 2 seconds for the 8th. I will see you then. Alright, bye.